Hi everyone, my name's Wesley and I'm from Unaufadox Productions, and welcome to episode 16 of Creating Bass Loops Live, the live stream where I create bass loops for all you wonderful music producing producers out there. So in this episode, in these live streams, I start the live stream and then I'll run through a bit of music theory, then I'll listen to this track that I've got going on here. Then I'll create a bass line from scratch. Then you'll see me upload that bass line to my website. Then I will work on that bass line, I'll edit it and show you the flexibility of what this is all about. So what is this all about? So I'm a bassist, music producer, mixing engineer, sound engineer, all of that good stuff. All the music related bits and pieces, because, music is my passion. And exploring that passion years ago, I began using music loops and I found them to be a bit lacking. So, and by lacking, I mean they lacked variation. So early on, I'm using loops and it's cool. But then as time went on, I wanted more from, say, a verse or more from a chorus. So let's say you have an 8-bar loop and then you add that to the verse 2, you have the same loop, and I felt like I wanted a slight change, because in some of the most popular music there are little nuances, little changes that keep the thing interesting, and I wanted that, and it wasn't around. So many years later I found myself in a position, I can play the bass. I found myself in a position where I can create these loops with more interesting variations. So you'll know, if you're a producer, loops tend to be, you can have a 4-bar loop, you can have an 8-bar loop, you can have a 16-bar loop. But I decided to create a loop which is, a couple of 100 bars, because it felt like that was the way. And also when I was practicing bass, I began to just make music, like make bass lines anyway, just as a practice. And then day after, I practice a week, like 5 days a week, so day after day after day after day for months at a time, these grooves are mounting up. So the project has got a bunch of grooves which I'm never going to use. It's just practice, right? But they were good. So then I thought, well, this loop issue is a thing, so let me use this and share this with others. And so here we are with this idea. So yeah, a couple of 100 bars long. So the time is 10 minutes, usually 10 minutes. Well, always 10 minutes. And because tempo changes, it depends how many bars. But this one tonight will be around 256 bars. And I just thought that was a really good solution to uneventful and uninteresting loops. So, and by variation, so probably should explain. So a 10-minute, so what I do is I create a 10-minute bass loop, but within that will be it'll be a simple groove. So it'll start off simple, then over time, over the span of the 10 minutes, it gets more and more complicated, more and more interesting. And then at some point as well, you'll see me look up, and I will begin to, so I will change it. So let's say I'm just playing, so I'm in D, I'll be in D today. So let's say I'm playing do 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 do. I might change to do 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 do, something like that. So the first idea you might put in a verse. The second idea you might put in a chorus, or vice versa, depending on what your track might need. So there's that, right? There is that variation, but also there is a layer of exclusivity with these loops. So, well, just a little bit more on the length of it, right? So it's 10 minutes. So you can go through and you'll chop, like you'll see me when I create it. You'll be able to go through, chop these patterns into something which I didn't play. So the chances of you and someone else choosing the exact same points to edit or the exact same parts, I think it's unlikely. But also to push home the idea of exclusivity, from the time the first person buys one of these loops, it triggers a 24-hour timer. And after that duration, I remove it from my website, and I remove any social media evidence, any social media evidence of this baseline. So I mark it to, social media, and I might use clips from the baseline, or clips of me showing what the baseline can do. But if you buy it within after 24 hours, I will then delete all of that social media footage as well, and I'll delete this live stream as well. So from my end, at least, there'll be no evidence that this baseline exists. Like, I won't be there'll be no evidence of my contribution of this baseline to the internet. Cool. So you'll be able to buy that. Well, I mean, you'll see me, so I'll record it and then you'll see me upload it to my site. From the moment it's uploaded, you'll be able to buy it using the QR code, which is beneath me down there. Just scan that and it will take you to the site. I mean, it's live right now, but the only thing within the product at the moment is the MIDI of, so I'll just quickly play this. So this, what you hear, it's just, it's a piano, it's a melody, some drums. But it's following a chord progression. So it's following a 1, I'll get back to that 3, 1, 4, 5 chord progression. So around and round. And you can see it here. So 1, it's all 1 now. 4, 5. And then back again. So within the product at the moment, within the episode on the website at the moment, so if you was to scan the QR code now, it would take you to the website, and if you was to buy it now, all that would be in there is the MIDI. So the MIDI is an 8-bar, so it's this whole part, so the whole chord progression, right? It's all of those chords that you heard. And you'll see I said simplified chords. Just wondering if I should get into that now. So I will come back to that. So and the package is just the MIDI of this. So for the beginners amongst you out there, MIDI is not sound. So when you buy this and then the MIDI is in there and you drag and drop that into your project, unless you add an instrument to that channel, there'll be no sound. So I'm clearly, like you heard, I'm using a piano, but you could use a piano, you could use a Rhodes, you could use a church organ, you could use a synthesizer, you could use, any sound, but as long as there has to be a sound to trigger the MIDI, because MIDI is a musical instrument digital interface. I think that is what it is. It's been a while since I've had to define that. But yeah. So it's just data. So you've got to you got to put like an instrument on there so the instrument can read the data, so it'll know what to do, what to play. So all that's in there right now is the MIDI. But tonight you'll see me record the bass line and then upload the bass line raw, so unedited, but it will be processed with all of these lovely processors. Then within a 48-hour period, I will go back through that recording and I will edit it. So if there's any timing adjustments that I feel need to be made, then I'll make them, and then I'll also upload that to the product. Then I'll also remove all of the processing and then export that as well. So in total, you'll have 3 WAV files. So just to recap, you'd have 1 which is raw, unedited and processed, 2 edited, processed, and then 3 edited, unprocessed, just in case you want to do your own processing. And then that's also why I include the unedited version, like just in case you want to do like your own like timing, because it's like the way I edit them these days is quite strict. There's still wiggle room. Like I don't quantize, like, you know, and make it strictly on the bar. I still leave in some human element. But before it was a bit looser. It was a bit looser, but I feel like if I make it more, you know, a bit more strict, then it's more beginner friendly. And then if I include the raw version, then you can decide if you like the playing style in the unedited version or if you'd prefer the edited version. Cool. All right, so yeah, I touched upon, so let's take a sip. Yeah, so I touched upon this here, simplified chords, right? So what happened was, so I created this track, and then, so, you know, I had the chords and this is chord progression. Oh yeah, I said I was going to come back to that 3, right? So this 3 is, it's 1, 3 in brackets, 4, 5, because the 3 is just an approach chord. So I'll just play it. Just that. But I wanted to include it just in case you start adding other notes and then they don't make sense for some reason. And I just wanted it to be clear that there is a 3 there, so you need to treat that accordingly. Because let's get into that. So simplified chords, right? Because in the previous version of this track I had more, so if you like like those two, like like those notes, chords, they were what's called sus chords. And so let's deal with, so let's say a major, right? So a chord, so on a bass, actually I could maybe play it. Yeah, maybe. I just don't really enjoy the way the chords sound on this bass. Yeah, cool. All right, so I'll play. So on a bass, heard this just today actually. So you'll hear this, the piano's playing and it's playing chords, but it's playing them all at once simultaneously. On a bass, we play one note at a time typically, but we're doing the same job. Like we're playing the chord, it's just one note at a time. So when the track that I had before, it was something called sus. So with a sus, so usually, so let's say in a major, your chord would be the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. So I'm in C major at the moment, right? All the white keys on the piano. So it's C, E, and G. So 1, 3, and 5. But the sus is 1, 2, and 5. 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 5. And then another sus is 1, 4, 5. So it's called, so you got a sus 2, which is 1, 2, 5, and then a sus 4, which is 1, 4, 5. And the thing about the sus is it's leaving out it's swapping the 3. And the thing with that is the 3 is very, it tells you whether it's like a major or a minor. It's a very defining note. So let's like stay in C. So I'll play, so I'm in, I'll say I'm in major, right? So 1, 3, 5. And now let's go to minor. So 1, 3, 5. So the 1 and the 5 don't change, but the 3 does. So major, minor, major, minor. So now major. major. Just do my minor one more time. Major. So major is like a little bit more upbeat, and minor is a bit sadder. But yeah, so I changed from those sus chords to just regular chords with the 3 where it should be, because I wanted to make these as approachable as possible. So whilst in the episode when you buy it, you'll get the MIDI information, so you'll be able to just drag the MIDI information into the project, drag the bass into the project, and they will match no matter what instrument you put on it, as long as it can play and recognize the MIDI information and play, you know, just for example, the roots, the third and the root, the third and the fifth, then it will match this bass. Even though you can just do that, it's a bit tricky. Like the sus chords are a bit tricky. You got to remember something. You got to remember, like, oh yeah, in the sus chord there's no 3, so it's like, oh okay, which sus is it? Is it sus 2 or sus 4? What can I do? It's not as beginner friendly as just straight chords, just roots, thirds, fifths, and a 7th, and maybe some other roots and thirds. Like, so I could have so root, third, fifth, root, or root, third, fifth, 7, root. Those are the kind of core: root, third, fifth, 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 root, third. Those are the core notes, and those are included in this MIDI file that you'll download. Cool. So also included in the package is a companion PDF, which will have the notes of each chord that I'm using, and a little bit of insight into, well, a little bit of an insight into the bass line. Cool. So yeah, I feel the simplified chords was the way to go, and also it makes the notes that I choose more flexible, because if I start leaning on the sus chords, then that means that loop is only playable over that sus, so you won't be able to move that round, or you could, but it might sound a bit spicy, and you might not want that. So it also, for my ear at least, makes it a bit more flexible. Cool. All right, so in this video, on this track, I've got this track. So you heard it's a piano with some drums, and the chord progression is a 1 in brackets 3 4 5 in the key of D major. And if you're a music producer and you don't really play with key, like you don't really understand it, I would say start now. Just start the journey now, because it's very enlightening, rewarding, but most of all, like my bass loops, it gives you more freedom of expression, and that's the whole point. Like for me, that's the whole point, to express yourself more freely, more intentionally. That's what you want. So I highly recommend key signatures, chord progressions, all of that lovely stuff. And if you have any questions on any of that, then just reach out to me and let me know. Cool. So chord progression, right? 1 4 5. What is that? So we're in D major, and these are all of the chords in D major. So what this information is telling you is I'm playing a 1, which is a D major, then I'm using a 3 as a approach note, and that's F sharp minor, just quickly, and then a 4, which is G major, and then a 5, which is A major. That's the entirety of that information. So equipped with the key signature, this little bit of information here, and then the progression, you're in pretty good shape. So just using this information, I know that I can. So when it's the one, when it's this green part, if I don't know anything else, all I have to do is just play a D, and I'll be cool. And then so let's skip the 3 for now. On the 4, if I just play a G, I'll be fine. And then on the 5, if I just play an A, then I'll be fine. So I'll just show you how that sounds actually. So 1. So just D, right? G, A. So all of that is very, like, it's all legal, it's all, like, it's fine. Like, it's harmonious, it's you're playing bass, you're doing the job, man. You're doing the required job. But what if I wanted to be a bit more spicy? What would that sound like? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loop this first, this 1. So I'm going to stay in D major, right? The 1. So I know it's changing in a way, but this is all, in fact, let me make that the whole. So it's going to touch the 3 a little bit, okay? So D major, so D, right? What if I wanted to be a bit more spicy with that? So if I wanted a bit of, I wanted to move around a bit. So as I said before, like the core notes of the chord are the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. So the 1, the 3, and the 5. So because I'm in D major, you could see what I'm doing. So 1, 3, and 5. So that's what I'm playing. I'm playing the D, the F sharp, and the A. So let's play that over this. But on a bass, you've got like a low note and then a high note, like an octave above. So let's like throw them into the mix, right? See how that sounds, just for a bit of variation. No, I went for the lower 3 as well. So you got the low 5 and the low 3, and then the high 5 and then the high 3. So that's the kind of core notes, right? But what if I was to go outside of that? So what if I was to play like, a 2 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or a 7? So let's see how those sound, right? So I just pull the numbers out. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. In fact, I'll just hold the note so you can get a feel of it. So that's a bit unsettling. That's better. So it's unsettling if I just sit there, but if I just go there and then go back to the 1, go back to home again, it's alright. We know about 3, so what about 4? Four's alright. What about 5? Well, we know about 5. What about 6? 4 and 6. What about the higher ones? It's alright, it's alright. What about 7? 7's interesting because 7 is next to 8, and 8 is the D, like an octave above. So you feel the pull, like it wants to like take me home. Cool. All right. So I think now is a good time to start doing the bass line of that little bit of music theory. If you're watching this in the future, or if you're watching it now, and any of that you didn't understand, then just reach out to me and I'll be happy to explain. Cool. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to this, and then when I'm inspired by a bass line, so when a bass line comes to me, I may hit record and just capture it, because there's been times when I'll be noodling around, and then I'll have an idea, and then I'll start talking about the idea, and then when I go back to the bass and hit record, it's slipped away. So if I feel something coming, I'll hit record just to capture it, and then I'll let you know when I'm doing the recording, which is going to be the product. So let me just have a listen. what I was just doing there, so I was so you could follow along with the numbers. So it was oh wait. But let me just record that. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so what was occurring, so as it was crystallizing the bass line, so I was so it was at 1 1 and 3, so 1 1 3, and then I was coming to the 7, right? And if I start this if I start that on the D, because of the numbers 1 2 3, I finish on the 1, so I'll stick to numbers, right? So again, so pardon me, so 1 1 3, and I need to do 7 1 7, so then the 1 can start the pattern again. And for a moment I was starting the pattern on the 1 rather than the 7, so then because it's an odd number, I was finishing on the 7, and yeah, I don't want to do that. So yeah, let me just keep playing from the 1. Go with that, man. I'm thinking at the other end of it, so so when I get to the 5, like I'm doing and then something else. That after a while I might change. I don't know to what yet, but yeah, I'm gonna get going with that. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, I can do better with that start. want to get in the groove of this. I know I've just thought of it, but I want to. In fact, that's a shout. Let me see if I can, install it and feel it before I begin recording. Because I'm going to start simple and then expand. But I want to really, because I like this. I like this idea. So I really want to feel it and have it under my fingers. And it's more than just, they say the bass is an easy instrument to play. It's more than just notes. It's the groove, like the feeling of it that I want to capture. So yeah, I'm going to get going. Hope you enjoy. So in the practice for this, well, in the warm up, I have to, so I can mute my bass now. So I don't practice for these. I warm up. I warm up the warm up. I test the levels for this. So I'm going to go to the project shortly, the main project where this was created. So what I do is each time I don't want to go too deep into this. So I have a project and I change the key each time. And because you change the key, you have to EQ it and mix it a bit differently. So you'll see when I go into this next project. Oh, I lost my train of thought there. Let me take a cheeky sip and see if it comes back. No, it didn't. Okay, cool. So, well, when it does, I'll address it. But yeah, pretty happy with that bass line, must say. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. There was a moment when, so I said at the top, what I usually do is I'll create like a groove, like, so a good example is what I just did. So that was in my mind, and then I looked up and I saw that it was around here, and I thought to myself, how can I make that more sustained? And then it's like you heard the question that I had in my mind, because it just kind of, I think I somehow started on the 1 when I should have started on the 7. And yeah, there was a moment like it just sort of froze, because it was like, well, how can I make that more sustained? But then that was a nice solution. And then this one was nice, when I began to hold these notes. And then down here was and what did I do? Oh yeah, then I began to hold like and then that was really nice. And then it was cool. I did enjoy that, man. I did enjoy that. Yeah, so that thought has not come back to me yet, and I have a feeling. So you know when so you're about to, so let's say you're making a point, and then you'll get a bunch of different tangents that you can go on, and then you go on one and you're like, right, I need to explain that. So then you go on another one, and then your original reason for making the point or even beginning talking just sort of evaporates. But that's cool, man. That's cool. So that was it. So when I test the levels of these projects, when I test the levels of these projects, I have to, do the arrangement. And in one of those tests, I didn't play it to the end, because I don't practice for them. I just test the levels and then, create this project and then kind of get going. So when that happened, that was like, you can hear my sort of shock, like, what happened to the beat? Like the timing of that note now, and you can see it's like it's softer than the rest because it's struck with uncertainty. And then I'm back because the show must go on. But yeah, I didn't feel, when I was doing the edits, I didn't feel it fall away that abruptly. Like, it surprised me. Anyway, that's all good, because as I said at the top, I edit this stuff, so that note won't even you won't even know that I did that by the time I'm finished with it. Cool. Yeah, man, I'm quite pleased with that. quite enjoyed that. Yeah, it's very like soulful. Yeah, quite nice, man, quite nice. So take off my bass and let me bounce this. So if you're familiar with Logic, then you know what bouncing is. If you're not familiar with Logic, then let me explain. So bouncing is when you export something out of Logic, and this is the term. This is the term that they use. So we've got like a folder, like a bounce folder. That's what it's called, bouncing. So yeah, so I'm gonna solo this just to get the level of it and of it itself. And I'm not going to export it too loudly. So this is the meter. So that's pretty good. You'll see here. So -12, -9, peaking at 6.6. Maybe down a bit. Yeah, it's cool. And you might ask why wouldn't I export it like louder? And that is because I mentioned this in the last video, so I won't labor it. But back in the day when I was producing in older versions of Logic, you'd get a sound and they would be like that. They would be like that. They wouldn't be too loud. These days you get it and it's just slammed into the meters like that, like a sound that you're auditioning. And to me that's crazy, because crazy if your agenda is to mix a song or to balance a production. Not crazy if you're trying to basically say, look how amazing this sound is. Like, it's so loud and it's so compressed and it's just so in your face. Like, this is amazing. We make great sounds. Like, I get it for that reason. And that's all good, But from a producing perspective, I would like it to just be as it was, because if I feel like when you're making a track, it's a bunch of ingredients and you don't want any of those ingredients cooked already. You want to do the cooking yourself, so you add all of these raw ingredients and then you bake the cake and then bring everything up together, like the levels up together, rather than getting a bunch of sounds and as soon as you bring them into the track you got to turn them down. So let me just reset that. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I'm gonna export that. So I'll press, so if you're a Logic user, you can see my key presses up here. So that's Command B. Bring up the information. So it's going to be a pulse code modulation, which is a full lossless audio format. It's going to be a wave rather than an AIFF, because waves are universally compatible. So people on PCs, if you use Fruity, Ableton, Pro Tools, then it's going to be compatible 24-bit, because yes, and sample rate 44.1. Because I'd like to do 88.2. I will do 88.2 as soon as I have another machine to do the screen capture. At the moment I'm running all of this off of one iMac Pro, which is fine, it does the job. But for 88.2 sample rate, I think I need to send that somewhere else, because I don't know if, so I'm using OBS and I don't know if the computer that I'm on, if I'm at 88.2, is OBS 88.2, is all the audio on the system at 88.2, because my interface is clocked to 88.2, and I just don't know how everything will run. So I'd rather just send 88.2 to a piece of software and it just receives it as audio and video and streams it. Cool. So yeah, wave, blah blah blah. So I'm going to name this creating. In fact, I've already done the MIDI, right? So I could just do that. And then, so this is in D major and it is at 98 BPM and it is processed, but processed but unedited. So that's just bouncing now, and it's bouncing with all of my plugins and stuff on there, which I could show you if you want. Are there any comments? Not yet. So yeah, in the future, if you want to know what the processing was, you can reach out to me. I'm sure I could go back retroactively and check out what I was doing. Or if you're interested in the baseline and you buy the baseline, you will get some of the processing and just some of my thoughts around the processing on the PDF. And this PDF comes with every bass loop that you'll buy, as well as the MIDI. The MIDI comes with every bass loop that you buy. So when you go to the site, in fact, let's do that now, shall we? Let's do that now. So, episode 16. Yeah, let's upload. Go to recent bounces, and that's our file there. So I'm just going to upload that. Yeah, I'll just quickly show you. So yeah, when you go to the site, you can, you won't hear this, but you can, I can though. Yeah, so when you go here, you can browse. So at the moment, got episode 15. Let me just mute actually, because I can hear it. Yeah, so you got episode 15, and you can browse along and see episode 3, episode 14, episode 2, and that's it at the moment. And later on, well, within a 48-hour time frame, you'll have episode 16 as well. And I'll just quickly show you while that's uploading. So this is the current selection. So this is today's, and as I said, this only got the MIDI, and now it'll have the unedited, processed bassline in. Is it done? Yeah, cool. So I'll just save that. Yeah, cool. So yeah, right now it's just 2 files, but there will be a companion PDF and another 2 bass recordings coming soon. So I'll just double check I saved. Cool. All right, cool. So I think I'm done with that project. Let me come a bit closer, and then go into this new one. So I'll save it, copy, and just open my project folder. So simplified chords, don't close. All right, cool. So let's paste that in and check that's cool. That sounds fine. So I'll just save this as, so yeah, simplified chords, but 16. And no, not caps. UCT edit. And I'll just save this and close it. Cool. So now we're in the project where everything was created, so I can show you the chords now. So this is, so when you buy this is what you'll get in terms of the chords. So the piano I'm using, the instrument, is just a Maverick from Contact, which is pretty good. But if you're listening to this on, you know, pair of headphones or decent quality pair of headphones or a nice set of speakers or studio monitors, then you'll hear there's some shenanigans going on with the piano. So I'll just show you. So, oh, that's the drums. So I'll just mute that. Cool. So the drums are coming through on the reverb, I believe. Where's the reverb? So bus 3 and 4. Yeah, 4. So these drums are being sent to this bus here, and we have a reverb plugin on there. So that's why I just muted that. If you have any questions on the routing, then let me know, because I'm not going to delve too deeply into that kind of thing on this video. I'm going to focus more on the bass. But yeah, happy to answer questions about that. So yeah, the piano has this on the on the master output of the piano. So you've got the piano, you've got some effects there, and you've got a delay and reverb, and so those 3 are going to this fader basically, so I can control the volume from just one fader. So it's three, one sound source, and then 2 buses and 1 fader. So yeah, this is happening on the main one. So taking a little bit out at like 50, 60 hertz, and then that's what's going on there. Just gentle massaging with this EQ. I like this EQ, and a big boost at the top. What else? So yeah, this is quite a nice plugin. It's emulating a Neve EQ, and it's quite nice. And then you can see what's going on there. So little boost, little boost, little boost. That's interesting. I never noticed that before. Similar boost value on each of them. And then I'm dipping. This is around 300, around that point. And then a tape machine, just trying to make this computer sound more real. I improved it quite a bit. It's I'd still like a real Steinway, like a real piano sound, but it's cool, man. It does what it needs to do. And then so the reason for this is you can probably hear this sound. If you're on a good system, you can hear this sound within the piano sound, and it's just, so I'll show you. So you got a doubler, so this is at 0, right? So I'll push this. So got this doubler doing this, so it's off, that's on. And then we got this Enigma, which I've always liked this plugin, always liked it. It's just doing that. It's just a bit of movement, something interesting in the ear. Then this EQ dipping out, something which I didn't like. And then this, a wonderful plugin, which makes things sound wider. And then that's the piano sound. In fact, let me just quickly show you the reverb. So the reverb with a bit of delay on it, going from left to right, as you can hear. Sorry, that one is just the delay, and this one going left to right, as you can hear. In fact, I remember when I was just experimenting with that. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. I want this choir sound, just kind of gently in the background. Cool. So let's put the drums back. So yeah, that is the track really, and the drums. Yeah. Again, it's Contact. So this is Abbey Road, 60s drummer. So AR 60s, early Kitfall. I really like the vintage drums on this. I just think they have such a cool sound. So just so you can see the kit. And EQ is blues rock, but I've changed things. I've set the outputs to my own outputs. So you'll see here you have output 2, stereo output 2, 3, 4. This one was 11, I think. Yeah, and then yeah, they basically appear individually here. So this is the output, the individual outputs of the drums from Contact. You can see it here, Cont 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. Just so that I can do whatever I want with them. I didn't do much, really, not really, because they sounded good. Just some massaging really with the EQs, just taking out the bottom end, just to make sure it doesn't get in the way of the bass. Just simple stuff, man. I started with good sounds, I felt like, so I didn't really need to do much with the drums. Cool, alright. I'm just thinking about what to do. So maybe I could start with what you just heard. Or I could just I could do something where maybe the bassist is kind of doing too much. No, that doesn't really serve any purpose. Alright, cool. So I'll start with that. I'll start with something simple. So say this is the... So I'll just duplicate this. This will be the channel, right? This is the channel that I'll be working on, and this is my pull. This is my ideas. This is where I get my inspiration from. So let's say this first one. I'll just drag that down. And I'll loop it. Yeah, right. So I was thinking that loop point's a bit weird. I've cut it a bit too early. Cool. Check that, because I've never added like a fade on a loop point before, man. So I'm just gonna drag that. So you'll notice here, like, listen for the pop there. So this is just because there's some sound there that I've cut off. Easily solved with just like a little fade. But I don't want to do that right now because I'm still working. So if I start, so if I do that and then I want to drag that, I'll have to match this time, and I don't want to do that at the moment. I want to just have it square. I just want to, use it like it was Lego, and just place it wherever I want to place it, and then I'll worry about the pops after and how it's all going to sit together. So I'll just make these green. And again, if you use Logic, you want to see my key presses, then just follow that up there. So that's options. So if you see these at the bottom, so you got Shift, Control, Option, and Command. So that was Option C. That's the option sign. So yeah, that's both the same. So what I want to do next, I know I've got the arrangement that I've got here is longer than like a typical track. Like it's not going to be like this arrangement. I don't think you're going to wait 33 bars or 32 bars before the chorus, unless you do like an intro and then a verse kind of thing, and there's no intro and verse here. So I appreciate that the structure is a bit off, but what I want to do is, so I'll have this and then I'll build like a more complicated one little bit next, and then on the chorus I'll get like a chorusy idea, just to show you how they can move, how they can be interesting. So that's cool. So I'll go on. In fact, let me just refresh. See exactly what I'm dealing with. So a gap there. The pop there. Okay, so let me have a listen and see what else is there now. I want the lower notes now, just as like a cool variation, so we'll find out. So I'm not there. So it's on the 4. I'm just gonna drag that and change this here. So what I'll do is I'll just move that and just check this is on absolute value. You want it on absolute because you want to drag it absolutely, not relatively. You want it exactly where you want it. So I'm gonna press Command U, then I'm gonna click on that, press Command Control and then T. Cut that, click and hold this, hold on to Shift and then drag it up, because the Shift allows you to see. I'm wiggling this. It should be moving, but it's not, because it's holding it in place. So let's just listen to that. That's the idea that I want, but I wonder if there was some more. So like I said at the top with the 3, it's like an approach note. So you'll hear here that I'm going from. I wonder if I played some lower notes to introduce that. I mean, it's cool as a variation as it is, but I think I remember doing that. So let's search. Sure, I want all of that activity, but I do want I need a nice point. So let me take all of that. I would chop here, but that's kind of, it's, I mean, you can, once you get to grips with this, you can chop wherever you like and drag wherever you like, but I want to just keep it simple, so I'm going to go by the bars. So bar 84 to bar 89. So let me take that, and so we'll see it's just, you know, it's one bar before the 3. So with that information, I can just add it like here. Oh wait, 1 bar, yeah, cool, add it there. So then I will save, and then move that out of the way, move that up, and then just move that right to the tip. So I don't want all of that other activity though. I just want the approach note into it. So, oops, that goes there. Oh yeah, you can't hear this because it's on a bus, and bus is not an audio channel. You send audio to a bus, you don't play things on a bus. So I'm just matching patterns at the moment, so I want all of this intro stuff, but maybe not the rest at all. Maybe just move that out. And this one I will just fade. In fact, that one I won't, I'll be strict. So then I'll just put this one back. I think it was here. Yeah, because I've not used that, so put it back in the pool of ideas, the idea pool. Yeah, that's fine. Then I would repeat that. So then the pattern becomes higher notes here on the 4 and the 5, and then lower notes, and then the same. So higher notes and then lower notes. But that's cool, right? But what if I wanted to introduce just like a slight variation to that? So let's go back to the plane and see. So just that do it. So let me so I'm gonna grab, so I'm gonna go by these lines, right? I'm gonna grab all of that. So then I'll drag that out and then put it on the mid bar line of number 1. So probably here, I'll do it on this second one. So let's move that out of the way. So up against this bar here, right? So then, and there's nothing there actually. There's nothing there. So I shall just do that. Put a line, put a circle around, cycle around it, delete, and shift it up, and then I will fade these in because it's not like I'm going to be moving those out. Delete that. So this last bar of 5, let me get something interesting. So, yep, let's go. So, yeah, let me save as well. So let me just see what I'm going to be replacing. So just the normal down, down, down. So down, down, down. So something which is not that, something which is a bit more interesting than that. And it has to be these oops, it has to be higher notes, not lower notes. So that, yeah, that's cool. That's an option. Let me pull that down. Nah. Nah, I was doing an idea before that. I need it cleanly. That's okay. It's too low. Okay, that is cool. So it's between these two, right? So just so I can press Option and the bracket left, and it will just put them right there for me, so I can sort them out. So I'll mute that. Right, cool. So the last one in yeah, exactly, the last one in 5, right? So let me just move that out of the way and then see how it sounds. So let's go from the 4. So that's not going to work because I used the low notes. So what about this one? Maybe that could go there. Maybe it could go there. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So I'll get rid of that and maybe put this one here. Actually, no. It's like going into low, but yeah, that one's just not gonna work. It's a, so this one is a, I think it was here. I think that one was there. So that one's like a variation going into the 1. So you can see here. It's like a high. I start high and then work my way down, like duh, 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 duh. Whereas that other one, I start lower and work my way up into the D, which is cool. It's like a different alternative approach that you can work your way down into the note where you're going or up into the note you're going. And in this recording, you probably heard, like I provided both because they're valid ways of adding interest, similar to this high note and then this low note. It's interesting. Cool. So let me have a listen to that. These little changes that you can see. Just a subtle change there. Again there. In fact, I can smooth that out now because yeah, I could just leave that. And we'll there isn't a pop there, is there? A little pop. Let's just fix that. It's just as simple as that. This one as well. I'll leave it. Alright, cool, that's nice. So now it's nearly time for me to end. I'm going to go and quickly find what might be considered a chorus part so that I can just see how it sounds with those choirs. So I'll go from this end because it's towards the end. Yes, but not so much. Exploring there. That's close, man. I need that part. Alright, so I need to find an end to replace that with. I'd like a part at the end where it doesn't come down like it, where it doesn't do that. I'm not sure if I did. Let's quickly see. There you go. Let's take it from the 4 just to see. So do that. Cool. Let's mute that. Let's see how this sounds. Not sure about that. Let me see how it sounds on the loop. So let's say from here. So I'll go from the top. Right. Nah, the ending is wrong. Wrong for that part, at least. I was thinking though. Oops. I was thinking to just do that, man. I already like that. Get into the details here, but just quickly, or for us to put that note there. And then mute that. Get in between this here. Unmute that. before I resolve this. I just want something really calm. That's it. That's what I want. I wonder if I did that with... Yeah, that's cool, man. Cool. Alright, I think that's gonna be it. I think that's gonna... I didn't want it to do the same, but it's calmer, so that's... Okay, so what I'm gonna do now as well is the fades, just so that it's all cool, and then I'll play it, and then that'll be the end. So this one, so you can see that there's some I was thinking dribble, there is some audio there, so I would just do this, and then here, yeah, zooming in a bit further because I don't need massive fades, just tiny ones really. Cool. Here, do the same as the other one. That's done. That's cool. This one. That's done. This one needs doing. I'll go this way. Cool. This one again, this way. So I want more of the pattern coming in than the pattern going out. This one, I'm going a bit closer. That's okay. That one needs it. Cool. There. There. And then just fade out. Fade out. Yeah, cool. Alright, man. I'm just gonna let that play now. And then after that, I'll wrap up the stream. And I also wanted to experiment with this, actually. So I wanted to see if I could move that here. And then loop that maybe twice. I see, now I want to copy this. Let me bring that down. And so yeah, so I've already done the fade, so you see it's over now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it on the bar so that I can now drag it into place and it makes sense. And then I'll also just go in and do the fade, do a new fade. Let's check that. Cool. Alright, so yeah, I just doubled that chorus because I just want to hear it. So let's hear it. No, the other way around. I wanted to have the melody only and then have the piano come in a bit later. And I'll just add this cycle so you'll hear what it sounds like as you come out of the chorus and go back into the verse, if you was to use it in this way. great variation, man. Like it adds interest, and it's so simple. It's the same notes, just a different octave. I did that, man. I'm just gonna do it really quickly. On the chorus again. Do if there was more time, I would change this one to go down as well, like that, rather than stay where it is. But it's cool. Maybe it's cool to keep it this way so that the variation is only in the verse, so you don't wear it out. And I'm gonna go back to the verse, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Cool, man. Yeah, I like that. I was itching to just go and change that last part to the lower note section, but nah. I'm not gonna do it. I gotta stop somewhere, man. Otherwise I'll just keep going and then make another track. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that bass line. It's doing good things. The variations are nice. The higher notes and the lower notes with the same pattern is cool. Yeah, as I said, so I'm going to edit this within 48 hours and upload it to the site, a processed and unprocessed version. Yeah, so if you like, so you'll notice that the playing sometimes it's like it's slightly behind the beat, which is what I prefer. I like the way that feels. I like to experiment with how behind the beat I can be, while still maintaining like a good feel. So if you like that feel, then stick with the unedited version. If you like a more refined or more to the grid version, then choose the edited version, processed or unprocessed. Cool. All right, man. Yeah, that's it, man. I do this every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. British Standard Time, on TikTok and YouTube. So if you enjoyed this tonight or in the future, is there any comments on that? Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, in the future, I suppose, if you enjoyed this, then yeah, check me out on a Wednesday evening. I do this every Wednesday evening, create a new baseline, then get it edited, upload it to my website, and then within 48 hours, upload the other bits and pieces that I mentioned, and then yeah, the following week. And yeah, this is just what I do, man. I love doing this, like you see here. I could stay and keep working on this, but I have to stop. I have to get to bed. The alarm is going to go off tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be another stacked and busy day doing the admin and all of the business stuff or family stuff. Life never stops, but we love it, right? That's what we like. We like to be busy. Anyway, productive and busy. Anyway, cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Head over to the website, have a look at what I've got going on over there, give me some feedback on that if you like. Check out my TikTok and my YouTube channel to see what I get up to. I'm going to get around to start posting like I was before. I used to post just clips of these live streams and other bits and pieces. I'm in the process of updating my website at the moment, so that's taking all of my time resources at the moment. So I've been a bit quiet on social media, but I'll get back to that ASAP because that's enjoyable as well. So yeah, follow me on TikTok and YouTube to see what all of that is about. Cool, man. Yeah, I have to go. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Thanks for checking out my stuff. If you liked it, thanks for liking it. Thank you to all my TikTok support, following, family. Really appreciate all of that, man. Really appreciate that. Yeah, until next time, make great music and enjoy life. And I'm going to play this from the chorus. Well, no. From the verse, going into the chorus. And at some point, I'll just end the stream. I'll just disappear. But awesome.